Let's remind ourselves that since the end of World War II, when we felt, quite rightly, that we owed a huge debt to those Commonwealth nations who voluntarily, every one of them voluntarily, had come. There was no conscription from any empire country, any Commonwealth country, and yet in those two world wars, and sharing our losses and our sadness, 40% of our entire contribution in those wars came from what are now Commonwealth countries, and we felt rightly that we owed them a debt. And we began a campaign, a program of Commonwealth immigration. And it ran from the late 1940s, and it ran through the 40s, and it ran through the 50s, and it ran through the 60s, and it ran through the 70s, and it ran through the 80s, and it ran nearly towards the end of the 1990s of controlled immigration from the Commonwealth and the rest of the world. And it averaged a net figure of about 30,000 people every year. And there is no question that of all countries in Europe, we were the ones that did immigration the best. We were the ones that managed to get integration of migrant communities in with the existing community the best. We were the ones that had the best levels of tolerance, the best levels of understanding, the best levels of respect, certainly compared to our neighbours across the Channel, who always found this difficult. And then Tony Blair got in and decided to open up, decided to rub the noses of the right in diversity. And then the European Union expanded. And we have finished up for much of the last decade, in fact, on average, for all of the last decade, with net migration to this country running at nearly 300,000 people every single year, and that is without those who come and settle illegally. We are not an intolerant country, and believe you me, we are not an intolerant party. But surely, common sense says that when you have a government that is responsible for education, a government that is responsible for healthcare, a government that is responsible for infrastructure, you cannot have a complete open door to limitless numbers of people. You need to control immigration, to do it properly, to do it sensibly. And we have a population crisis in our nation. You see it right now with what's happening with road expansion. You see it right now with parents not able to get their kids into local primary schools. You see it right now with people trying to get a GP appointment. You see it in every walk of our life. We have a population crisis, one that we couldn't have planned for, because we weren't actually controlling the numbers that were coming. And into all of this is a second extraordinary betrayal by the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn. In the 2017 general election, the Labour Party said that they would end free movement when we left the European Union, something that overwhelmingly people in this country wanted to happen. Interestingly, a large proportion of Remainers thought we should have some control on the numbers coming. This week, in the Labour Party conference, they have voted not just to continue free movement with the rest of Europe, but to extend it to much of the rest of the world. Basically, if we get a Labour government, we will have uncontrolled mass immigration into this country, and once they've come and settled, they will have the right to vote. I cannot think of a more socially destructive, policy that any party has put forward in modern times than what the Labour Party have done this week. They've lied to us on Brexit. They now want to have a second referendum that gives us the choice of remain or remain. And now they want to open up the doors to uncontrolled mass immigration. And I think now we as the Brexit Party know that we are absolutely, in political terms, we are at war politically with a Labour Party that have deceived and cheated their own people and do not stand for this country.